Hey, good morning, everybody. I just wanted to stop by. I'm going to release a new segment. I'm not even going to put a timetable on it. It might be once a week, twice a week, but I'm going to call it Hot Off the Press. And this is my first ever Hot Off the Press. As I learn and grow, you're going to learn and grow. I want to present all the things that I'm learning and the ways that I'm shifting. I want to put that in front of you. You know, One of the great things about coaching is that coaching expedites your time. While it has taken me 10 years to figure out some of these things, 15 years, 20 years, I want to expedite your time and give you tools so that you don't have to spend 10, 15, 20 years creating a shift in your life that brings about real results. So that's part of what my passion is here is to bring you these life altering, mindset changing ideas that will explode your time. We are getting ready to not only come to the end of a year, 2019, but we are closing out a decade. And the way that you leave one season is the way that you will enter the next season. So I don't know about you, but I am going to explode out of 2019 so that I explode into 2020. So that's what I'm doing. And I want to share that journey with you so that if you want to jump on and explode with me, come on along with me. Let's go. Let's do this together. I am fired up about what I have to share to you today. This has blown my mind. This what I've learned over the last week. As I have been up leveling my mindset about specifically in relation to money and investing and sowing and reaping and all of that. And so specifically around my finances, I used to blame money for my problems, but I realized that whatever I blame, I'm handing my power over to. So it has nothing to do with money because here's what happened to me. I was, some of you have heard my story before. I went from, speaking in the pulpit. I was a pastor for almost 25 years. I went from speaking in the pulpit to selling windows door to door after a divorce, after my ex-husband chose things that didn't include the ministry and didn't include our family. And my life changed instantaneously. And so, I went from preaching in the pulpit to selling windows door to door. I went from a beautiful Texas ranch to living on the floor of an apartment. I went from wearing a Rolex with diamonds to standing in the food stamp line just so that I could try and feed my 4 children. And so, that left me with this idea that money was what was causing me to stay stuck, the lack of money. I was overnight, I went to being a single mom and never having worked outside the home, uh, other than being in the ministry. I, um, I blamed money on my problems and I never could get ahead. And so, my mindset about money was that it was money's problem and money is what caused me anxiety. And something happened is that I started to shift and I started to grow. And I went from not being able to pay the bills um, to I started getting uh, a month or two ahead for the first time in my life. And I realized that even when I was still ahead of the ball game, I still had those same feelings of anxiety that I had when I didn't have enough. And I realized it's not money's fault. It's my thinking. That was a huge breakthrough. So this is something that I heard a mentor of mine say, and it just like arrested me, and I started digging into it further. Um, But, as being a pastor, I believe in the Bible and what the Bible says. And so I want to share this revelation with you about a couple of verses about money. So I am going to put this on a screen share and pull up a PowerPoint here. Um, and I want to share this with you. So let's jump right in here. Again, this is called Hot Off the Press. So anytime that I learn something, anytime that I just have a revelation or an aha moment, I'm going to jump on here and I'm going to share it. So I want you to know that I am going to be putting all of this into a teaching and a training, but I couldn't wait. I have to share it with you right now. I'm literally so excited about it. It's changing my whole world. It's changing my whole thinking. So let's look here. 1 Timothy chapter 6, verse 10. I'm sure that you have heard this verse before, and many times it gets misquoted, and it says, "For the love of money is the root of all evil, which while some coveted after, they have erred from the faith and pierced themselves through with many sorrows." So this gets misquoted many times, that the love of money is evil. So it actually says the love of money is the root of all evil. So it's where evil begins. It's not just evil, it's the birthplace of evil, the love of money. Well, growing up, I don't know about you, but I heard this preached and what is the assumption that I'll tell you what the assumption was that I grew up with, and maybe you've had the same assumption. The love of money. So who loves money? Well, my assumption has always been that rich people are the ones that love money. So I didn't want to be rich because I didn't want to be evil, right? If the love of money is the root of all evil and rich people are the ones that love money, then why would I want to be rich? Because I don't want to be evil. I love God. I want to please God. I'm a good person. So why would I want to be evil? So I found myself literally rejecting the possibility of being rich because I thought being rich led to not just evil, but the birthplace of evil. But this is my revelation. So who would you say thinks about money more, rich people or poor people? Well, I'm going to tell you the answer. And this even comes from studies that have been done. Poor people think about money more than rich people. When you're poor, you're always focused on money because you're focused on the lack of it. And so it's a constant thing. You equate money with the answer to all your problems. So you're always thinking about money when you're poor. But listen to this. Poor people love money so much that they can't part with it. So I don't know about you, but when you are afraid to spend money, I don't know if you've ever gone to like pay your bills and you get a sick feeling in your stomach. Or I don't know if you've ever, had the opportunity to invest in yourself or spend money on yourself and you get like the sick feeling in your stomach and you're like, oh, I just can't part with it. I don't want to let it go. I got to hold on to it. That is a poor mentality. So here's the revelation. It's actually evil, not just evil, but the birthplace of evil is in being broke. And let's read the rest of the verse, which while some have coveted after, come on, rich people are not coveting after money, folks. Rich people are they've got it, so they don't have to covet after it. It says they have erred from the faith and pierced themselves with many sorrows. And I want to say this to you, that many of your sorrows are because of the mindset of being poor and lack, and I am not enough. I don't have enough. it's not because of a wealthy mindset. When you have a wealth mindset, when you have an abundance mindset, uh, when you invest in yourself, you don't covet after money, and it actually draws you to a deeper place of faith. And guess what? It relieves you of many of your sorrows. A rich person knows how to release, sow, and invest their money without needing to hold on to it. So they understand in the flow of money. So Deuteronomy 8:18, again, this is another verse that you may have heard. It's pretty popular and it's been taught many times, but it says, "And you shall remember the Lord your God, for it is he who gives you the power to get wealth." To get wealth. Listen to that wording. "That he may establish his covenant that he swore to your fathers as it is this day." Why would God give us the power to make wealth and get wealth if it was evil? I want to tell you, this is a revelation for me. And if you don't want it as a revelation for you, it's okay. But I just had to share it. I had to just bring this to you because this changes my life. This changes everything for me. Being poor is actually the birthplace of evil. It's not being wealthy. Here's what I want you to see is that money and time are both energies, just like wisdom. But it's our conditioning that tells us that we're bound by whatever the numbers in our bank account say, and that we're bound by a clock. So, like I said in the beginning, whatever you blame is what you hand your power over to. Deuteronomy 8:18 says, God has given you the power. He has given you a spirit of love, power, and of a sound mind. The Bible says you have power. So you don't have to hand your power over to a clock or to what a bank account says. And so, you know, um, wealth, money, and time, what your bank account says you have in the bank, it's not even real. Like it's just a number. Like it's not actually sitting there in the bank. It's just a number. It's an energy. Same with time. Like we as humans came up with this idea of time on the clock and 24 hours in a day. It's not, it's a way that we measure what happens, but it's not something that we are bound to. And so I want you to think about this. When a teacher is teaching, she's giving away wisdom. And wisdom is knowledge. And wisdom is actually the output of knowledge. So not wisdom and knowledge, they're energies. Just like time and money are energies. When the teacher is giving out knowledge, is she losing knowledge? When she is giving wisdom, is she losing wisdom? So in other words, the more she gives, is she losing that when she gives it? No. When a teacher gives wisdom, when a teacher gives knowledge, what she is giving is actually expanding not only in her hearers, but also in her. And so this is incredible because time and money are energies just like wisdom and knowledge. And so they're not bound by a clock, the numbers on a clock, or the number in your account. The more you give, the more you sow, the more you invest, the more they expand, they actually grow. It's when you keep them in that container that they stay stuck. And to be poor is actually where the birthplace of evil. I hope that just resonates down deep inside of you, and I hope that it begins to expand your desire to use the power that God has given you to get wealth, because uh, He, God has given you this ability, so that you can expand, but also that so you can expand, help others expand in life. So this is just a small little teaching, a small little tidbit. And what I want you to know is that, when you invest in yourself, when you invest time in yourself, when you invest money in yourself, you are creating wealth. You are not, if you come from a lack mindset, if you come from a mindset of being poor, then you will want to hold on to that money and not sow it into yourself. So I want to encourage you, invest in yourself, invest in your, your mental and emotional well-being, um, through coaching, through teachings and trainings, through mentorship, through consulting. Invest in yourself. That is a wealth mindset, and it will cause your wealth to expand, which will relieve you of many of your sorrows, and it will deepen your faith. I hope you've enjoyed this hot off the press, because it is rocking my world. I can't wait to see you soon. Have a great day.